It's my life, it's your life, it's our life, it's our life, it's our life. You got to make a decision.
If you're just tuning in for the first time, this is the Holla-tics Live Interactive Podcast. I am Raz, your host, chief politician, narrator, orator, and the hardest Negro under 6 feet since Eric Easy E. Wright, the West Coast gangster. Tonight on the floor, we got pro-life or pro-choice. What is your brutally honest opinion? Hollatics are weighing in from around the nation, around the globe. I've said that around the globe as though American situations has interest people around the globe, but my man Hollatics Spence tonight had laid in the news some Nicaraguan information that was very enlightening, man. So, but tonight on the floor, we're not in news subject right now. We are in the floor, and the floor is pro-life, pro-choice. What is your brutal, honest opinion? Holla-tics Ben Rixby just weighed in. He said, I am pro-life. However, as long as Roe versus Wade is the law of the land, our country is still a pro-choice option country. Very, very informed opinion now, man. I like that one, man. I like that one. Holla-tics Spence say, I didn't say I couldn't understand the pro-choice argument. I'm saying I can understand the argument, but I do not agree. I must have misread you, Spence. My bad. Spence say he pro-life, but he can understand the pro-choice argument. I am glad some of my favorite politicians are tuning in, weighing in pro-life, because I am going to challenge your what I want to call it. I am going to challenge your amendments tonight. Now, y'all know when I do this for the audio, it's if y'all listen to podcasts on audio, I suggest that you go to Overcast. If you listen to podcasts on audio, I suggest you do it through Overcast. No, they ain't paying me, but I like it because when you leave big gaps in your podcasting, they got a little deal on that cut out the gaps, man. I left a huge gap right there because I had a brain freeze though. Challenge our viewpoints. Yes, Spence, viewpoints. But, you know, I like to give my Hollatics a little more weight than just a viewpoint or opinion. The easy word would be opinion, right? But I don't like to use that word when it comes to Hollatics because a lot of y'all are educated, you know. So I like to call them amendments since we here on the floor. So a lot of my favorite Hollatics then weighed in and said pro-life. Hollatics, y'all weigh in. Pro-life or pro-choice? What is your brutal, honest opinion? Y'all weigh in tonight because I want to challenge pro-life opinions. Now, if you ever follow me or you ever had conversations with me, political conversations, you notice you can never remember. Now, I got a good memory. I write songs, right? What is that? Holla-tics, is ABC a play now? Roe versus Wade may come into the forefront again. That's true. With Amy Barrick's Roe versus Wade might come into play. So if I'm not mistaken, Rod, you want pro-choice completely eliminated out the country. Weigh in on that, Rod. If I'm not mistaken, you want pro-choice completely gone from the country. Because I know you. This is a heavy one for you, Rod. I know you had made a comment last week saying, you know, that we spit in God's face with the Roe versus Wade. Challenge your humanity. Somebody just texted me that from Louisiana. I didn't have the name saved in. Y'all I got messages coming in from everywhere. Tonight on the floor, pro-life, pro-choice. You be brutally honest. Now, Rod, weigh in real quick. So you want pro-choice completely eliminated out of the country, if I can understand you. Holla-tics McGalva. Okay. Challenge your humanity. That's what he said to me. Holla-tics Ben say Amy Barracks being confirmated will not affect Roe versus Wade. It's a settled law. It's man's law, not God's law. I want the Bible back on the foundation of our government, says Rawo. Okay. Holla-tics, y'all weigh in. We have some really informed thinkers here on the floor tonight, man. I'm glad I introduced this subject tonight, you know. If you're really not into politics, you might consider this boring, but a lot of people stake their votes on pro-life and pro-choice. And it's very important. Now, I've never spoke about pro-life and pro-choice publicly. And I'm going to tell you why in a little bit, right? I'm going to tell you why in a little bit. Because I'm going to challenge a lot of my pro-life Holla-tics. Holla-tics Ben say amen, right? Holla-tics, y'all weigh in. God, Rawo say he want God's word to be back on the throne in America. Again, we had a subject matter not long ago that said that we are one nation. If we one nation under God, why do we support so much ungodliness? Holla-tics PJ. I tried to comment on Facebook, but it's not showing up. That you, Pickle Juice? You didn't get banned from Facebook, did you? Holla-tics, y'all weigh in tonight. On the floor tonight, pro-choice, pro-life. What is your brutally honest opinion? Holla-tics Rawo say pro-life. Holla-tics Spence say pro-life. Holla-tics Ben Rigsby say pro-life. But pro-choice is an option because it's law. Holla-tics Spence say I can understand the pro-life, pro-choice argument, even though I am pro-life. Holla-tics Spence say what you saying about the way of the abortion issue is correct. So many people use that as a single issue as determining who gets their vote. Rawo say Exodus 20:5. Y'all know I'm a Bible thumper. And I have to weigh in. It's a little early. I don't want to weigh in yet. But I will throw this bird seed on my way in. I don't know, man. I'm neutral about the whole thing. And that may shock y'all. That may shock some of my Holla-tics, man. What up, Gabe? That may shock. Tonight on the floor, Gabe, is pro-life, pro-choice. You be brutally honest. I'm up in the air on it. That may shock some of y'all. The laws are written in our country by men, and men are flawed. This is why our country supports a lot of things that are contrary to God's word. Gabe say I'm pro-life. McGavin say, they say that, but there's too many Christians and not enough disciples. I didn't know what you was commenting on that one, man. Holla-tics Gabe say I'm pro-life. Now, without me weighing in too much, I'm up in the air. And I tell you why. And this is why I felt like this was an interesting subject to bring to the floor tonight. Because with systematic racism, beyond just you don't like me because of my skin color. I'm talking about with people in power. And you look at my race, 13% of the country. If we did half and half, we could say 50% female, 50% men. But I believe women outnumber men. So let's just say 60-40. Y'all follow me so far? Somebody went, he said, that's crazy that abortion comes up every election cycle as an issue has not already affected and settled law. That's true. That's true, Ben. Now going back to my spiel before I weigh in. My race as a people, black people, 13%. We are the second majority minority. Latinos being the first at 18%. Now, if we did a 50-50 split, men and women, which is not, because I believe females outweigh men. So let's say 60-40. 40% of the 13%, either half or a little under half, are in jail. So I'm saying to myself, do we want kids to continue to be born and face racism, systematic racism, financial abuse, and then later on in life, a high chance, I think it's 1 out of 3 or 1 out of 4 black males will wind up in prison. So we're all saying that's cool. Let them come through the wound anyway so we can lock them up and kill them or starve them out for the rest of their life. Is that what my pro-lifers is saying right now? Y'all weigh in. Now, the world is more than the black race. Country is more than the black race. But again, as a black male, I have to speak from a black male perspective. Don't have sex. True enough. I hear you thinking. But do you realize when young women become sexually active, it's usually due to bad upbringing. And normally, the absentee of the father in the home wrecks the whole house. We don't look at it like that. You know, mama, you the real MVP. We love our mamas. Mama's Day, every restaurant is full to the top. But do you realize that when the father is not in the house, it affects everybody? And so even young black females who get pregnant by black guys who ain't no good, it's all due to, again, the oppression that was faced by African Americans. Now, I'm not whining about racism and systematic racism, but I'm trying to get a point across that we rather see these kids born and spend a high possibility of going to prison, dying, or facing poverty for all their lives than rather give the mother a choice than to keep the kid or not. That is what my pro-lifers is saying. Is that what y'all telling me? I told y'all I was going to challenge y'all opinion tonight, man. I was going to challenge y'all opinion tonight, man. Spence say, nope, that's not what we saying. But that's what happens, right, Spence? Right? Let's say we repeal Roe versus Wade, right? Now there is no pro-choice, right? Now it's all pro-life. So there's more African-American kids, more jail, more poverty, more systematic racism, right? Because that's pretty much what's gonna happen, right? We're not gonna eradicate racism or even systematic racism. I don't know. I won't put a time frame on it, but it's not going nowhere fast. Systematic issues have to be dealt with. And it take time to deal with it. So I told y'all I was going to challenge y'all opinion tonight, man. Rigsby said I wouldn't say that. But what would you say? What I put forth is facts, man. It's not an opinion. It's not what I think or believe. It's actually what happens. So what is the answer for that? If we go completely pro-life, what is the answer for black males going to prison? So murder is the solution to that problem. No, Rob, I'm not saying murder is the solution. But when you abort a child, it's not considered murder here in America. We call it that, and by God's law it is, right? But according to our law, it's not murder, you know. Holla-tics Gabe said that's a great viewpoint, Raz, because the system was not upset for the black male to, not set up for the black male to succeed, just speaking from a black American's point of view. This is why I challenged it, Gabe, and I said earlier, you never heard me speak about the pro-life and pro-choice situation because of the same thing that I'm saying right now. Now, if I had to choose, of course, I have to choose God's law. I do not think God makes mistakes. I do not think he sent kids here for us to say, nah, God, I'm going to send this one back. But he do give you free will and free choice. So who is the law to take that from you? And also, do you believe when God decided to send people here to earth, he's saying, yeah, I'm going to send you here so you can go to prison. You can wind up being beat to death by a police officer, or you can wind up in poverty for the rest of your life. Do you think that is God's plan? This shows the importance of a father in a household. This is true, Ben. This is true. I learned that by experience, y'all. Again, I have 4 kids, and, you know, I realized that my daughters and my sons both received their identity from me. And I might as well just say I'm weighing in right now because it's already 8:10. My daughters and my sons both received their identity from me. And Ben, I know you can bear witness to this, man, that the importance of a father is a lot. We underestimate that here in the country. Yet at the same time, if we look into the African-American race, and I didn't mean to drag this into a racial issue, you know, it's probably more African-American families without fathers than with fathers. And y'all are saying, you know, let's keep it rolling like that, right? I'm just challenging y'all opinion. Hollatics. I'm challenging y'all opinion, man. On the floor tonight, pro-life or pro-choice. What is, to be brutally honest, and I'm being brutally honest, I always gonna side with God's law, but at the same time, I didn't think it's God's will that he sends someone here to do prison time 18 years after they grow up. I don't think that's God's will for somebody's life, man. Even if they don't find him within that first 18 years, you know, I didn't think that's not God's will. Holla-tics Experience say, to clarify, as a nation, I don't know if we should revoke Roe versus Wade. Abortion would still take place. Yes, it will. It'll take place in the black market, Spence. You're absolutely right. It just would not be legal. But my opinion is pro-life. It comes from a faith perspective. However, I understand every American does not share my faith perspective. I share it, Spence. And again, if you force me, I have to pick pro-life. But I have a huge issue when we just say, okay, let's eradicate people's choice. I'm like, what are you going to do about systematic racism in the black race and the fact that every black male child born stands a good chance of either going to prison, dying, or spending the rest of his life in poverty? What you going to do about that if we're not going to give people a choice, man? Yeah, he gives everyone free will, and we have to deal with God on the decisions we make. That is right, Gabe. And that is where I kind of left my whole pro-life and pro-choice thing. I never spoke publicly about pro-life or pro-choice because I was up in the air. Again, looking at my race, Rod Wolf say, I don't think he sent them to earth to be murdered either. He didn't. So we have issues then, right? What they call them irreconcilable issues, right? That if we going to allow these kids to be born in the country, then we gonna have to change our ways, right? If we Holla-tics being say, before we were formed in the womb by God who knew us, God has a purpose and a plan for us, and the plan he has for us is to prosper us. He dropping the word. He went spiritual, prosper us and not the homers. Now, when we factor in the fallen world, imperfect civilization, society, whose plans can go upward. Ari, how you say that, Ben? Right, we'll say, if we say that the absentee fathers are the profound issues, how did we begin to make that shift? I don't know, man. I do not know. I do not sit here, Rye, and say I can correct a systematic issue in one Holla-tics setting. This is why this is on the floor tonight. It is a huge issue. It's easy to say, thou shalt not sin. Do what God tell us to do. It's easy to say that. It's easy to say, thou shalt not steal, till your stomach is growling. And that hamburger is on that counter over there and ain't nobody looking. It's easy to say this stuff, but then, the world, men, we can complicate it. What's up, Mark Nobles? Oh my God, I got royalty in the house. What's up, Mark? This is the Holla-tics Live Interactive Podcast. If you're tuning in for the first time, I am Raz, your chief Holla-tician, surrounded in those seats. You can't see them, but those are my Holla-tics. And we sit here, we don't talk about celebrity culture here. No bars and stars here. We talk about you, me, and the decisions we have to make. And tonight on the floor is pro-life or pro-choice. We're being brutally honest. The majority of my Holla-tics have weighed in tonight and said pro-choice, Raz. I mean, pro-life. I'm sorry, pro-life, Raz. We got to do what God say do. But I put some S in the game. Stuff. Not the other stuff. I put S in the game, some stuff in the game. So I'm saying, okay, half of my race are black males and half of them are in prison or jail or in prison or dead or in poverty. If you factor in prison and poverty, it's probably over half. So I'm saying, do we just continue? We take away the choice for kids to be born and then just lock them up, right? Or starve them out for the rest of their life. Sounds like a plan, right? PJ say the Pharaoh had commanded the Hebrew midwives to kill the male slave children to suppress their numbers. However, the midwives honored and respected God more than they was afraid of Pharaoh and refused to kill babies in the womb. And they were in slavery in worse conditions than even we are now. That is word from PJ. PJ saying via YouTube, yeah, Raz, let them be born into slavery. God will deliver. I will not argue with that, PJ. I will not argue with that, man. But again, but, when they say but, here comes the S, right? Stuff. I mean, y'all dirty minds. When I say but, the Hebrews were God's children. All of them was. We can't say that here in America, right? PJ? We cannot say the Hebrews. The Egyptians suppressed the Hebrews and they continued to have the kids and they were born into slavery. But every last one of those kids were God's people. We cannot say that here in America. You have to accept Christ to be one of God's children, right? Uh-oh. You're not gonna get around me that fast, baby. Hollatics y'all weigh in tonight on the floor. Pro-life or pro-choice? I want you to be brutally honest. The issue you are addressing, Spence said. So let's take it a step further. Let's not just be pro-birth, but pro-life, which deals with the issues you're addressing, like crime and poverty. If a pro-life person fights for a child to be born, then also fight for the individual to grow up in a just society. Spence, bro, if I wish me and you were both off tomorrow. Maybe we should call in, brother. I would treat you to lunch, man. That is what I'm talking about, man. He's saying if you're going to be pro-life, then just don't fight for the rights of the babies. Continue to fight all the way through their lives, man. Don't just fight for the child. Do not show up to the neighborhood and get the kids candy and puppet show, then take off. Show up when they 18 years old and crime is looking good because they tired of starving. Show up with job opportunities. Show up when the police is unfairly treating them and say, no. We are protecting these people from the womb to the tomb. Excellent way in, Spence. Excellent way in, brother. Spence say, I'm sick, boss. You are. You caught me by surprise with that one. Spence, Holla-tics, Spence say, don't just fight for pro-life. Continue to fight on. If you really pro-life, you will continue to fight on. Rod Rose say, Jesus and hot dogs. You being messy, right? Hollatics y'all weigh in. Tonight on the floor, pro-life or pro-choice. I am asking politicians to be brutally honest. And they was. And in return, I was brutally honest. I've never talked about this issue before because I have been torn. Because I look around in my race and I say, man, we are born to be put in jail or stuck in poverty. And so do I really want to take the choice for people? From a young mother to say, I know his father was no good. And his chances of being something are pretty slim. So, I don't want to have it done this way. Most Christians, Bible thumpers, I am one myself, would say pro-life. But again, as Hollatics Spence put on the floor tonight, don't just be pro-life. If you're going to be pro-life, be pro-life it. You know, in the Bible, when they put the TH, that means it continues on. He that sinneth continues to sin, sinneth. He that liveth continue to live. So the ET means continuation. So Hollatics Spence say, don't just be pro-life, be pro-life it. Meaning if you're going to fight for the birth of these childs, then fight for their lives all the way through 18. Fight systematic racism, fight systematic poverty, fight systematic injustice as a whole. That is beautiful, Spence. You shocked me. I didn't think I was going to get a good argument. I didn't think somebody was going to be able to stand up to me with logic tonight. I thought it would be a lot of opinion, but you are sick, boss. I got to give you that, man. Holla-tics Gabe say we have to have unity in our community. And this goes back to the saying, it takes a village to raise a child. We really have to mean the statement and be involved. This is true. Holla-tics, man, we are over our time, man. I didn't think tonight was going to be hitting like it is, man. Holla-tics Ben say it really does take a village to raise every child. Facts, man. Hey, man, this is 8:30, man. Holla-tics, we got to get out of here, man. Y'all continue to weigh in on the subject. I think it was a beautiful one tonight, man. Beautiful floor discussion, man. I'm glad I put all this new seating out here for y'all, man. Y'all really earned it tonight, man. This is the Holla-tics Live Interactive Podcast. We do this from every 7:30 to 8:30. It is now 8:30. We have to leave. We have to leave. We have to leave, y'all. And let me end by saying this. Good session. That's right. That's right. Let me end by saying this. I'm gonna weigh in. Good session says Ben. Spence say this might take us on a rabbit trail, but think about this. Some people who invest in or profit prisons want a group of people that not do well in life. Again, this is some of the stuff I thought about, Spence. You know, this is why I never really brought this up in my own conversation. I couldn't say pro-life without conviction. Even in my conversations with God, I have to challenge him, man. I'm like, God, what is up? It's easy to say, okay, the Hebrews, like PJ weighed in and say, okay, the Hebrew children was continuing to be born in slavery, but you sent a deliverer, and they all were your children. You know, in America, we cannot say our kids belong to God. You know, they have to be given the chance to accept him. But hey, I got to get out of here, man. I got to get out of here. Holla-tics, man, listen, if you have the opportunity in your hand and the power to change someone's life, man, you do that, man. That is why God put you in that position. Also, as my man PJ would say from YouTube, walk with the king and be a blessing in all things. Holla-tics, I am on my way out, man. Y'all write in subjects and news, man. I will see you guys tomorrow, man. Y'all be blessed.